I'd hate to have to worry about my next election when making a vote. I never worry about that. I've never had to worry about that or worry about who I'm pleasing or unpleasing with my vote. All I worry about is what's best for the students in the city of Chicago.
That this is a civil rights issue because it is removal of our voting rights. People can raise our taxes, but we cannot hold them directly accountable for the policies they set. What we realized is that we didn't have a voice, that the realities or the truths that we experienced every day were not being heard or reflected or respected by the people that were sitting on the school board. And when they made decisions, if those decisions failed, which often they did, there was no accountability to the people who pay taxes. There was, and it's easy to say, well, you can elect a mayor, but you have a mayor right now that has a $30 million war chest. $30 million war chest. And so the game is rigged.
I do have concern about inserting more politics into school board operation. Frankly, we tried to seal ourselves. Well, you may laugh, but again, I don't have to raise a dime from anybody. I don't have to worry about my next campaign. Frankly, I don't have to worry about when I vote to worry about that.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Jesse.
Yes.
How can it be more political than it is right now? I mean, honestly, you have the Chief Operations Officer for Chicago Public Schools, who's the former CEO of the Academy for Urban School Leadership. You have the board president of the Chicago Board of Education, who was the former board president of the Academy for Urban School Leadership. They get schools with no bid contracts. And despite the fact that they've had to turn around their own turnaround in 2 high schools twice, they've had to turn around Phillips twice, they've had to turn around Orr twice. How could it be more right now? The mayor of Chicago this morning was at Little Black Pearl, which is a politically connected arts organization, who has been, when we have been fighting like wet cats for Diet High School in Bronzeville, saying we did not want to lose our last open enrollment neighborhood high school. And the mayor is getting a political endorsement at an organization that is submitting an application for Diet. Do you actually think that we believe that this is fair? So how could it possibly be more political? You just had a board member that was caught taking profits, taking her company getting profits. So how could it be more political than that right now?
If we have an elected representative of the school board, this goes to Jesse and to Jitu. Either one of you or both of you, would either of you run for the position? Do you think you would win? Now, Joey, that's a good City Club question. Go ahead.
I would like to see it remain a non-paid position. I'm not sure if I'd run for it, frankly. And then you would get folks like, you'd be rid of me, but you'd also be rid of, a lot of folks who may not want to do that. And then again, you look at, I know some of the folks in LA Unified, some folks there who may be looking for a job. I'm not looking for a job. I'm looking to help. And how do you eradicate poverty? You educate children. You give them the ability to go and earn a living better than I did from my, 3rd grade educated dad who was a migrant farm worker. That he could do that, have his son go to law school, study under the President of the United States, and then be able to make a better living than he did. That's the goal for everybody. And that's my goal in serving on the Chicago School Board. Would I pursue it as elected office? I'm not sure I would or would you.
Jitu, quickly, would you run for it?
I don't know. I think that I want to see it come to pass, not so that I can have a position. Parents from other communities do enjoy a voice. When they say jump, the school board says how high. The question we raise is how can it be more political than it is right now? Where you have school board members whose companies make profit off of dealing with Chicago Public Schools. You have school board members and CPS administration that are directly connected to schools to get no bid contracts. And you have politically connected companies that get the inside track on available school buildings. We believe that this is not democracy. We believe this is a violation of our voting rights as taxpayers, as these appointed school boards only exist in cities that serve primarily children of color. We believe that is a violation of our voting rights, and as Chicagoans, we are united, whether you live in Edgewater, whether you live in Agio Gardens, whether you live in Pilsen, Humboldt Park, Bronzeville, or Inglewood. We're united.
As you all know, we have a question on the ballot in most wards in the city of Chicago coming up in elections in just a couple of weeks, asking voters in the city if they believe we need an elected school board. I feel confident that we will have a strong showing on that question, and I am eager to work with my colleagues in Springfield to make the will of the people into the law of our state and to get a voice for democracy in our public schools here in Chicago. I thought it was particularly interesting when Mr. Ruiz told us that when members of Chicago, members of the school board, excuse me, are making tough decisions, when the school board members are making tough decisions, they don't have to worry about what the voters think. I think that's precisely the problem with the appointed school board, is that they're not worried about what folks in our communities think about these decisions that are being made. When they're closing 50 schools in our neighborhoods, when they're slashing budgets for our community schools, they don't have to worry about how our communities are being hurt by those decisions. That's precisely why an elected school board is so crucial. But I think the most powerful way to move an elected official on something is to let them know how their constituents feel. Right? You can get calls and letters from everywhere else in the world, but until your constituents tell you how they feel about it, it's not going to really move the needle.
The question is, do they have the will to make sure that Mexican babies, African American babies, Puerto Rican babies have the same access to education as children that live in Lincoln Park? That's the question. And that's the challenge before this current school board. Address the issue of equity. Stop running from it. Because we're not going to let you run anymore.